Thank you for being here.
Hey, man. Appreciate you having me. I'm sure we're going to have a great time chatting tonight.
We'd love to just know a little bit about you, how you got into barbecuing, kind of what made you fall in love with it, and how you got into being a YouTube creator.
You know, I learned cooking when I was at a very young age. It was just my mom and myself for a while there, and she had to teach me because she had to work. So I got into cooking. As I got a little bit older, you know, I got a cheap old Weber grill from Sears and learned how to burn meat pretty quickly on that one. But kind of just grew from there. I wanted to get to a point, well, like, you know, we talked about earlier, I live in Southern California and there isn't a huge barbecue scene. So I took the time to learn how to do barbecue myself, spend some time in Texas, you know, have a lot of buddies that do traditional Central Texas barbecue, whatever. So I've learned a lot from them as opposed to, you know, getting into YouTube. My son, when he was in high school, actually was taking some film classes, getting ready for college film study. I thought, you know what, why don't you film me cooking some food and put it on YouTube, which I had no idea YouTube cooking was a thing. And you could build a portfolio of stuff to show colleges while we're looking for colleges to go to, right? We did that for a while. He got busy with school and I decided to keep it going. It became a nice little creative outlet for me. It was nice to just kind of share all that on YouTube, and it became a little side hustle where I made a little bit of cash out of it. And then about 2 years ago, it became my full-time hustle. I switched from corporate to doing content full-time. It's weird to say that I am a middle-aged father of 5 content creator, but here we are.
If you could cook and barbecue for one celebrity, who would it be?
Well, I'll tell you what, that would be Guy Fieri.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Guy's. I've been following him since, you know, he won the next Food Network star back in the day. And, you know, kind of a dream of mine to get on, you know, the Food Network one time or get on one of those, you know, next level chefs, barbecue brawl, whatever.
Cool.
Just watching him, it's been kind of like a pseudo, not role model, but, you know, someone that I look up to. I have a lot of his stuff over here. I think he'd be the one.
What would you cook for him?
I would definitely do some barbecue for him. I know he's a big barbecue guy. I would do some ribs, some pulled pork sandwiches, you know, something like that. Something that I've done so many times that I feel pretty comfortable presenting it to somebody that has such a wealth of knowledge of barbecue. You know that back in the day, he actually had a competition team called Motley Q. So cool. Obviously he has his chops on barbecue and knows how good barbecue should turn out, right?
What do you think is one of the dumbest rules out there in barbecuing?
You know, I don't know if it's such a dumb rule, but it's a rule that I feel is kind of overused, and that's spritzing your meat. I do it, you know, occasionally myself, just because I feel like it's almost expected in my videos. You know, people are used to seeing it, but it has, you know, some benefits, but you know, the end of the world isn't going to come if you don't spritz your meat. You know what I'm saying? Because totally. You know, ribs, brisket, whatever, you're wrapping it eventually to braise it, to hydrate whatever's dried. So to me, I feel like you could do without it, and I feel like that's a pretty decent argument between people out there too.
What's one step in barbecuing that you think a lot of people forget about?
I think not knowing what internal temperatures they need to cook to.
Okay.
Right. I think a lot of people that are novice at barbecuing are just looking at time wise, or they're not, you know, savvy enough to know temperatures or feelings or anything like that. So that's why I tell everybody that I teach on my videos, invest in an instant read thermometer, invest in a Bluetooth wireless thermometer, invest in a grill that has ports for thermometers. That way you're checking your internal temperatures all the way through, and you're going to have a perfectly good, you know, brisket as long as you cook it the right way.
What would be your version of grill therapy?
My backyard is you know, very conducive to having people over and hanging out. I have a big pool not a big pool. I have a pool nice. In the backyard. I have a fire pit. We have the jacuzzi, all my grills, all that stuff. So I think having like my Weber, you know, my kettle lit, you know, doing some burgers, doing some dogs, having a couple beers with the family over, my friends over, the kids in the pool, totally. Smoking the air, having a cigar, whatever. that's it right there. That is the dream, and we live it, a few times each summer when it's, the kids are out of school and all the friends are around. But that's it right there. I feel so much joy when we're just chilling and doing easy things with the fam.
Your wife is also a YouTube creator. I'm
Right.
sure you guys have some funny moments back and forth between behind the camera and in front of the camera. Do you have
Yeah.
any funny stories about that?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, my wife is, you call her a pistol, right? She's awesome. Right. But so a while back, we decided to set up a channel for her called The Bitchy Baker. Okay.
Okay.
And this was, I'm pretty straight laced in my videos, kind of just do my thing, get to the point. I don't cuss, I don't give attitude, I don't whatever. And with my wife, the only way she was going to do this and actually do a channel is if she could be herself.
Mm-hmm.
And with herself, that means throw some attitude, say, drop a bomb every once in a while, and just, have fun, banter with me, yell at me, whatever, right? Just, because I'm filming the whole thing, I'm,
Right.
editing and doing the whole thing. It's one of those things where she can act herself and it just resonates with the people who watch their videos. They just love it. So I actually have her come on my channel and I taught her how to make pulled pork on the Ninja outdoor
Nice.
smoker. And that was so much fun. That just having her in there, and she doesn't like touching big old pork butt, like she's like, oh, it's gross, whatever. I'm like, but we got through it, and I'm trying to do the outro and wrap it up, and she's just sitting there eating the pulled pork. Like, can you wait till we're done? And she's still going to town. She's like, I'm hungry. It's been when you're baking something, the cake's done in an hour or whatever, right?
Right.
Pulled pork takes all day.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm hungry. I'm all day for this. So it's a great chemistry when we're together, and people really dig it. I wish, she still has her corporate gig.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she had more time to come on my videos or do more videos, or vice versa, for her channel. But when we get it done, we can get it done, and we have such a great time doing it.
Awesome. And let's shout her out again. It's the Bitchy Baker, right?
Yeah, the Bitchy Baker on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook.
What's like the cheapest cut that you've turned into like a holy crap dish?
I think I'll go with the chuck roast because I like that birria, Mexican dish.
Mm-hmm.
And you take that, you smoke it, and then you put all the goodies in it. I actually dropped a video on my Instagram today about making birria. So chuck roast, pretty cheap, pretty easy. Cook it almost like a brisket. They call it the poor man's brisket, right? Yeah, you can do so much with it. Barbecue pulled pork, or pulled pork, sorry, barbecue pulled beef, sandwiches, do the birria. There's so much more. You slice it up. It's all good. And I guess, pork shoulder, pork butt would kind of go along with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, it's really forgiving meats.
Mm-hmm.
That there's enough fat running through them that if you do overcook it, you're not paying attention, you don't have your internal temperatures right,
Mm-hmm.
you still probably be okay in the end.
What has been one of the most challenging things that you've had to learn about barbecuing?
For me, I guess it would be like fire management. It's real easy with a pellet grill, and I have plenty of them, and I don't have a problem with that. I'll never make fun of anybody with a pellet grill, but when I do live fire cooking on my Santa Maria, or if I use my offset, it takes a bit of time and learning process, some failures to get where you can run your temperatures right the whole way through, right? I guess that would be it, just fire management for those barbecuers.
What would you tell someone if they were just now trying to get into grilling? What would you suggest as a first couple like meals that you're trying to create?
I would start with probably some chicken wings or chicken legs, because those are relatively inexpensive and they're pretty forgiving also, right? And pulled pork too. You get a pork shoulder in there, whether you're using a kettle, a pellet grill, whatever, you'll be okay. At least that's how I feel. If you kind of follow the steps right along the way, you should be okay your first cookout. I try to get people to start with cheaper cuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or easier cuts or forgiving cuts, right? So that's kind of what I tell them to go with. And, I would tell anybody that too. Whatever grill you're starting on, I would do some pork or chicken pieces.
So you're on a camping trip. Coffee or fire first?
Oh, well, you gotta get fire to get the coffee going.
Okay, making
No, I
coffee on
mean,
the fire. That cowboy
hopefully,
roast.
hopefully your fire was big enough that it kept smoldering overnight, or you just need to throw a couple pieces of pieces of wood back on it, and you'll be able to get that coffee going right quick.
What's your go-to camping breakfast?
I'll do a huge scramble,
Mm,
right? Because over the fire you can just get one of them big old griddle
yep.
platter plates. I don't know exactly what they're called, but cast iron griddle thing. Just throw your potatoes on, your eggs, your meat, all that stuff, and just crumple them all up. Cheese on top, salt, pepper. You're good to go, and everybody loves it. And it's a good breakfast to start your day.
Yeah.
And the smell of like the meat, the sausage, the bacon, whatever on that griddle just wakes everybody up, along with that coffee.
Mm.
I mean, hell, man, I'm getting hungry right now. I'm about to go light a fire.
Hey, me too. Low and slow, or hot and fast, and why?
I got to tell you, it's hot and fast pretty much every dang time for me. Um, I got 5 kids and they need to be fed. So like, I'm not trying to be cooking all night long. So I'm actually doing a brisket right now. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I have a brisket on right now. I started at noon my time, and it should be ready to be pulled off by about 6.
Mm,
Rest for an hour or so, and then there you go.
right
So
on.
yeah,
Okay, so we're going hot and fast.
hot and fast every single dang time.
What's the weirdest technique or accessory that you actually swear by?
It's called the slow and sear.
Okay.
It is a kettle inserts. It's like a charcoal basket, except better built, and it has a water trough part that slides in there. You fill that with hot water. You get your coals lit on one side, and it's kind of like the snake method going across. And you can do a full on brisket cook, full on pork cook, or pork shoulder cook, or whatever, in your kettle. Using it that kind of method, and it keeps the moisture in there, keeps the heat running smooth and consistently all the way through
Mhm.
it. And it's just I've had a kettle for years. Slow and Sear, Dave Parrish is the owner. Reached out to me, years and years ago.
Mhm.
Sent me one, and it's never left my kettles ever since. And they got to the point where they actually made a kettle that they sent out too. So I use that too. So
Wow.
you can do what you need to do without it, but it's great to have it, and it makes things a lot easier. So.
Can you just kind of like tell us where everybody can find all your channels?
All right. Well, obviously on YouTube, my main channel is Cooking with CJ. I also have a barbecue channel called CJ's Q. So CJ apostrophe S QUE _ Cooking with CJ on Instagram. And then it's Cooking with CJ on Facebook, TikTok, cooking.with.cj. I'm trying to remember all that.